Let's see. How's it going? Let's see. Uh, your connection is unstable. Hang on. Shit. Are we still here? It says my connection is unstable. Am I here? Okay. All right, cool. I don't think that anybody's really going to show up other than, hey, Jade, than a couple of people, but you guys know it got weird a couple months ago, and that's why I stopped. Wishful thinking thought this was sitting there. Okay, so that's why I stopped doing lives. So we'll see how this one goes. So hopefully people don't prove me right. Okay, cool. So I just found out about Don Lemon being arrested. So thanks, Angel. He didn't do it on purpose to tell me right before. Let's see. Oh my god. This world is so awful right now. It's just like mm, it's definitely not the best time to exist, I guess, but when is it ever? The world has never been stable. Woke up to it, nightmare juice. Yeah, it's just been like, and let's see, if John were still here, things wouldn't be this bad, I think. It's possible. That's the thing. You never know. And so it's tough because now John, it's been, well, thank you, Angel. It's I'm glad you're here too. I'm glad everybody's here. Can you believe they're predicting possible light snow in Tampa on late Saturday night? When was the last time you had snow out there, Dave? David? I don't know if you would ever go by Dave. Excuse me. Yeah, it's hard to know. Like with John, with his death and everything, it's been so long that 1980. Good God. Um, so it's been a minute since the snow. Uh, it's just now it's kind of like in the public zeitgeist, John's death is just another, like, another musician, activist, or whatever. So his quotes kind of go down in the kind of Martin Luther King sort of treatment of, this is inspiring or whatever. And it's just something you read and you're like, nice sentiment, and then you move on. So it's hard to know because it's I don't know. It's just hard to know. Gary Oldman says that about David Bowie too, though. Gary Oldman's so cool. He seems cool. Shit, I'm at the point where it's like I don't want to associate with anybody because everybody that I hear is like, it's like, oh, that's a good author, and then you find out something and you're like, I had nothing to do with it. John's existence held the cosmic thread. Seriously, it's that's something that the Beatles are just an unexplainable force. So, and in Bowie, definitely. This world, it be fucking me up, guys. How are you guys doing on this Friday morning? I was going to film a video today for Lars Land. I'm working on an island video too, but I just was like, I can't get it done. So, but I look good. So I was like, you know what would be fun? Maybe I could film live. We could go on live and see how it goes. Oh, I'm going to walk up to the shop in a little while and pick up that MoFi blonde on blonde. I'll take a better look at all the Beatles shit that came in. Ooh, yeah. Slasher works at a record shop, so he gets all kinds of cool stuff. Can I say something completely off like topic? I'm gonna say it anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, hey, Alan's here. Hey Alan, so this is completely not Beatles related. Have you seen the photos of the biopic casting character? George does not look good. Jade, I posted on the community tab yesterday. You guys, I post on the community tab too much. I'm aware of this. Like, I know this, okay? And if I could change that behavior about myself, I would have already. Okay. I would have stopped, but, I would have stopped if I could have, but apparently I just need to do it too much. I feel so, like, I don't know, I feel like I like it. Anyway, so, I'm gonna let the vinyl nerds just chat it out there because I don't know anything. Um, but the random thing that's not Beatles related is that I have been trying to read more, get off my phone, and I started reading Jurassic Park, and damn, you guys, this is a book. I know, like, hot take, obviously, it's, like, a very popular book. It's probably, like, similar to saying Stephen King, um, Stephen King books are good, but, like, "Oh, hey, Chrome." Um, but damn, I'm so into this book, like, and unfortunately, I rented it on my, like, library app, so it's on my phone, which I hate. So, I'm actually going to see the Beatles in orchestra tonight. It's my Christmas present, so, I'm very excited, but we're going thrifting before, so I'm hoping always looking for some good Beatles stuff, but I'm also hoping to see if I can find Jurassic Park, uh, book. Any other books in those vibes? I would love to give vibes. I would like recommendations and everything. So much better than the movie and fucking love the movie. Jurassic Park holds up so much. I have not seen the sequel in so long that I couldn't even tell you how I feel about it. But the movie is so, like, it's just iconically good. So, it's like Clockwork Orange book versus movie, and I love both of those. Clockwork Orange is such a crazy the book I've only read, I think, once. I've read parts of it, um, like, throughout afterward because school and stuff will have you read bits of Clockwork Orange, but I read it the first time when I was 13, and, it was a very confusing read because there's a lot of, like, jargon and stuff or an innuendo. It is a hard read. Yes, it is a hard read. It's like, okay, I think I had an easier time reading Shakespeare. So I was like, "Oh, this is kind of tough." But the movie is crazy. We watched that movie in school. The whole movie, Clockwork Orange. Might as well watch Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, if you catch what I'm saying. I was like, I'd already seen it, but I was still like, my English teacher, yeah, see, it was my English teacher. My English teacher showed The Wall and Clockwork Orange. I'm trying to think of what else she showed. Hey, hey, Lars, you look gorgeous in the thumbnail. Thanks, Andrea. I spent an hour and 18 minutes on this makeup. This is not even that, like, interesting makeup, but I did. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think if we had any Beatles anything in school. I don't think so, but I know we dissected the lyrics to Landslide. So, like, when I think about music stuff, but I'm assuming all the cool music stuff happened with people who took, like, music classes and band classes and stuff. Clockwork Orange is maybe Kubrick's most British movie. It's extremely British. It's like, even the movie itself is kind of hard to understand with some of the humor and, like, the jargon and stuff. But that's kind of, like, why some of, like, with the stuff we do on Patreon, we watch all kinds of stuff together. And I recently was like, "Let's not watch, like, XYZ, XYZ," because I'm like, I the monkeys are too big of a deal, like, for me to get into, but I will watch some of oh my god, what I'm trying to think of. Oh my god, the humor, the Beatles are, like, they were super influenced by this humor, oh my god. Does it start with a B? What is it, guys? Help me out. My grade 9 teacher showed us another brick in the wall, part 2 sequence from the Wall movie. Most kids laughed at it at the end. Slapstick, no, it's a type. Is it Boone? What is it? Angel. It's like a it's like a show. It's like, I keep saying Boondocks in my head, I'm like, "That is not it." What is it? Thought no, it's a type of show, like, it's an actual, like, variety show or something. Dude, I could look through it's like, I've mentioned this shit in so many no, nope. Alan would know it, it's a British thing. They grew up on this type of humor. God, what is it? What is it? And then my brain is like, the more I can't say it, and wise show, and I'm like, "That's not it." The hang on, just pantomime. No, guys, it is like the name of a show. The Gong Show. The Gong Show is part of it. Hang on. Let's see what I got. Goon. Goon humor, right? Goon? Is that a thing? Am I right? Let's see. Goon Show. There we go. Yeah, Goon Show. Yeah. Yes. The Goon Show. That I've seen a couple of things that I would watch, like, and I probably should dig into it more for, like, stuff, but that would be cool for, like, some of the marathon stuff that we do because sorry to be like, what we do on Patreon, but it is kinda like that. It is kinda like it sucks that the BBC has deleted most of their post-broadcast. The BBC and I have, beef right now. Actually, we've had beef for a while. The BBC and I have had beef since I started working on The Spin, Chapter 8. Um, so, like, the BBC and I have had beef since, like, August, but we've been having beef we started having a sp when did I put out The Spin on Patreon, Angel? Was that, like, October? That was when the beef started heavy, I got real pissed. I downloaded their archives and realized that a lot of the '60s, '70s, and '80s UK bands were referencing it. I got, like yeah, exactly. I got really frustrated because the BBC first off, "Hey, Sam." Um, I got super it took me a minute to I was like, "Who is that?" Because you've changed your name. I was like, "Wait a minute, who's this moderator?" Um, let's see. Oh, I just got a new dual citizen on Patreon. I'm trying to think of, yeah, Peter Sellers was, yeah, hang on, spin. Okay, October 31st on Halloween. So I've been mad since like October. Cause like one thing with Live Aid is that, and I don't have the timeline up anymore, but it'll return. It's just not there right now. But BBC deleted, and this is part Geldof's issue, but even if Geldof didn't say get rid of it, they probably would have. They don't have their originals. Like some of that got nicked, if you will, so we have some of it, but they got rid of their broadcast stuff, and that's something that the BBC loves to do. So thank God for the streaming era because we have a lot of stuff that we're kind of reliant on, archivists and very, very good and diligent fans. Spike Milligan is funny, but some of his stuff is aged like milk. Well, here's the thing about aging and stuff. My feelings are, rapidly changing on all of these things lately because, like so with things aging, there's this one comment from a Redditor that's like, that I've saved. It's Shark Milk 44, and it says, let me pull it up. That I have it because I've had it since whenever I'm going back to talk about Run for Your Life or whatever. Hang on, let me find it. I wish that I could share a photo in here, but I didn't do my other thing or else I could. But let's see here. I should probably text Mark. Hang on. I'm live on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I have to tell the people that want to talk that I'm here. They pay me, so I'm live on YouTube if you're up. Okay. So anyway, Shark Milk 44 has let me there's no way that I don't have it here. You've gotta be kidding me. Where are you, Shark Milk? What the fuck? Anyway, it says something along the lines of, "Oh my god, what do you mean that the past hasn't aged well?" or something like that. Shark. Okay, here we go. "Oh my god, did you know that history is fucked up and doesn't meet today's moral standards?" And that's the thing about aging. Like, the more that I am, you know, for the last 3 years, well, no, but for like the last 2 years, my life and livelihood has really been very much wrapped and enmeshed with uh the Beatles. And so a lot of the stuff that I do and consume and think about and whatever, digest and dissect, it happened 60 years ago and was influenced by things that happened anywhere between 150 and years ago, you know what I mean? And so we're dealing with a whole different world, the conversation of, like, racialized, um, influences and white supremacy and all of those things weren't part of the conversation, and the more okay, like, the more that I'll catch up on the chat in just a second. The more that I've caught up on stuff, the more frustrated I get, and I feel like, "Good lord, Lars, you're such a curmudgeon. All you do is hate on people. It's kind of insane that you are so mean." But I see and this is like, but it's some of the younger people, they'll particularly, it's like "Run for Your Life" comes up, but then they'll look at Ringo's, album, and they'll see 16, and they'll be like, "That was kinda weird. Why did Ringo choose to play 16? That was kinda weird. Don't you think it was weird?" And then I remember a comment was, something like, "Hey, man, it's a cover," and then somebody replied, and somebody I love replied, like, "Yeah, but he still chose to do it." And I'm like, "Okay, so one of the bands I really love has a song called I'm a Killer. I am a killer." And it's like, okay, uh I'm a killer, and it's talking about finding out that his wife cheated on him, and he goes, "I'm a killer, like, and everything's gonna be alright. I'm a killer. I'm gonna kill her if I see her at the party tonight. I'm a killer." Do you think that he sincerely wanted to kill his ex-wife? That's the mother of his kids. He wrote that right when he found out that she cheated on him for the 2nd time, like, in a year. So, I know too much about this band, and, I'm like, "No, it's just a really, really catchy song, and, he doesn't wanna murder somebody." Like, okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah, and the John Wife thing. So if we're talking about domestic violence in the Beatles, I made a video on that. It's an hour and a half. I made that one particular video, and out of all of my videos, that's the one where I'm like, "You should share that. You should tell people to watch it. It's really important." Like all my other videos, I have my bullshit inserted in it and all kinds of stuff. So whatever, but that video I put together so you would have a resource, literally a resource, like an encyclopedia type thing. It's a dictionary. So if you want to talk about domestic violence in the Beatles, everything that I could possibly find in an easy way scared the shit out of me to make that video. It makes me nervous even talking about it sometimes. Um, and I made it so you could watch it. So I don't know if I want to talk about it right now. So like, I guess just go watch that. 'Cause that's not about an aging well, so that's a different thing. Like, domestic violence, believe it or not, always not cool. Hitting your wife has always been uncool. Just because it was, like, more acceptable, rule of thumb, those kinds of things, that's more in a certain cultures, religious, conservative situations. It's something, it's if it's something to look down upon now, it was something to look down upon then, so that's not an aging situation. So funny because I just got back from volunteering at the library, and we were talking about how we're better off putting up digression warnings for stuff from the past than trying to remove it. Absolutely. I think, you know, there was, back in 2020, I remember when the Chicks changed their name, and I forget, I don't know if they changed their name, Lady Antebellum. There was a lot of conversation about these things, which, that's fair. But there was conversation about, like, should we put Gone with the Wind on HBO? And I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely, you should. Like, there's you don't have to put it on streaming, but we shouldn't censor or get rid of like, absolutely. Lady A, which is almost more stupid. Well, I don't know if it's stupid or not, it just sounds weird, It's hard, but I feel like the Chicks worked. Um, Context, historical culture is important to know, but some things we've learned, better. Don't think that's wrong. Well, but in some things we've learned better, don't think that's wrong. Yeah, that's not what I was saying, Alan. Context, historical culture is important to know. That I don't think that's what I was saying. We're talking about specifically, like, understanding what we're talking about is context and nuance, and that's important. That's context and nuance, and understanding timing and age doesn't mean excusing things, because excusing things would be if you were doing it today, making it today, fine with it today. Oh, hey, we're gonna just call you Jay. What's up? I hope things are going awesome in the Philippines. It is almost snowing here. Let's see. Um, I just think Lady A are terrible. Could not tell you more than any song. I don't know if I know a single song. We're seeing the consequences right now for not always handling history properly. Erasing the history, yes, you can't erase the past to make it compatible with the present, and we shouldn't, because if we're erasing the past, then we start to lose the consequences for things like a Holocaust or a genocide, and then we start to realize and let things smooth over so badly that we wind up having a police state in our own country, and super fun where, not that there are 2 white people that were killed, and there's a bunch of other brown people that we just don't talk about that were killed. So it's like, these are the same things that we've already seen with, like, over the years, and we just forget them, and it's fine, and blah, blah, blah. Like, especially when I'm talking about the Beatles, I'm not gonna say, like, "Oh, man, Ringo shouldn't have covered 16. It's so creepy." It's not. Like, when I was growing up, am I still here? Looks like okay, I'm still here. When I was growing up, and I'm 35, so I'm not old, like, it's not, I mean, I guess I'm old, but oh, no, am I freezing up again? Let me know if you guys can see me. Um, Happy Days, like, all kinds of stuff, you're thinking, like, um, why is, like, ABBA is not getting shit, you know what I mean? 17, like, and it's all this stuff where, you know, she was just 17, you know what I mean? Like, what, guys, relax, like, 17 is when you're 16 and it's in the 60s, like, that's like, it's like this really young, independent age. Like, this is the age where people are, like, growing up, getting out of their house. It's not like it's not it's not what it is today. Like, things are so different today, and I just am so cringe about people being like, "Ooh, that's so it's not predatory the way that you're acting like it is." There are things that are predatory, and we can talk about those things. That's not what this is. Absolutely, but we only know about John's case because he was so angry with himself for having done it, and Cynthia said it only happened once, and John was so sorry. Hey, PBH, you really need to I'm so sorry, not to I don't wanna just be like, "Go watch my video," but you need to, because this is one of the, like, uninformed pieces of conversation surrounding this, and now we are going to, ta cap that conversation, Angel, because we're not gonna do that. right now. Um, some people read too much into lyrics without taking context into account. Yeah, absolutely. I remember in my Rubber Soul video, I put um I think let me see. I why am I getting my no, it was you can't do that. I put you can't do that. It wasn't Rubber Soul. So I put in you can't do that and I was like you guys need to chill. No, it was Rubber Soul. I was like I love you can't do that. Like I think it's a bop. Is it the most eloquent song lyrically? No. Is it the most fun subject matter? No. But also I listen to a lot of horror based like oh my god. Why am I stupid today? I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. I think of like I listen to like a lot of indie folk type horror movie based music. So I hear a lot of edgelord type lyrics and I feel like Run for Your Life is extremely edgelord and there has to be a like an understanding of that lyric was more in the jest side of things. And it like, is that okay? Probably not, but I remember getting a comment that was like, we have enough songs that talk about women like that, so I understand that you think the song is catchy, but, there's enough of this, so I'm not cool with it. Fine, like, you're right, but it's the conversation of saying, like, "It's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad." It just doesn't hold water here. You can dislike it and it can make you feel icky. The song that actually makes me feel icky, and I've come along with it, I'm still working on it, is "You Like Me Too Much." Because that song reminds me a lot of relationships I've been in, where it's like, "You like me too much, and I like you, I guess." You know, I treat you like crap, but you'll come back with me where I belong. Like, you belong here, and I deserve to be treated like shit, but you're gonna come back. It's like personal to me. I'm like, yes, I know that I let that asshole treat me like shit over and over again, specifically like in queer relationships. Like, I just let it come back, because I love you, I guess. Like that, it's just too much. It's too like I make it too personal. John said he took a line from Baby Let's Play House and made a song out of it. Exactly. Yeah, and everybody like that's part of it too, but that doesn't satisfy the younger uh set. Hang on real quick. Oh my god. There's an ice raid happening about a mile and a half from my best friend's house right now. So that's okay. um it's George putting his view first and foremost. I mean mine. Like the book or the song? Um, I do like the organ on I like Me Too Much. I like that whole song. Like, I like that whole song as a song. It took me a long time to be like, "Oh, I'm okay with listening to it," 'cause it made not a long time, but I got the ick when I would listen to it because it made me think of all the dumb, stupid shit that I allowed when I was younger. So it wasn't like a bad song. It's not about a song. It's George putting his view first and foremost, I mean mine. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a fun I don't think it's, like, super deep, and that's the thing, it's, like, not a super deep song. It's like, I don't think he thought about it too much. He always kinda struggled with lyric, and it wasn't about meaningful levels of lyrics, particularly by that era, Is more like, "I'm gonna come up with this, and our songs are about relationships, and this works, so that's what I'm gonna talk about," you know? Anyway, things age poorly at times, but I don't think that means we need to put them in a burn pile, and I think that that's the vibe that I get sometimes, And it puts me in a place of feeling like I need to make 8,000 disclaimers, and I always make disclaimers anyway, and I'm so like, "Oh, Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood," and I'm always misunderstood, and I get so frustrated at feeling misunderstood, and I just have to let that go. Like, I just have to let that go. But I feel like, um, it's really frustrating that I feel like sometimes when we're having this discourse about things with historical context, which is all the stuff on Lars land, like, all the stuff on Lars land, um, I mean, we're gonna be finding a lot of that stuff with the Live Aid video, you know? That doesn't really come up with island videos, but, like, all the stuff on Lars land is filtered through the lens of age, and it's, like, it's really frustrating sometimes that, like, my fully grown adult audience is, like, not adult enough to have this conversation without going, "Ew, I don't like it because it me," you know? And it's like, "Guys, come on." That's like the initial, barrier to entry to have this conversation. It just it's, like, so frustrating to me. And I'm not, like, singling out one person. This is like a thing. And I'm not even singling out, like, a particular, like, age group either, because we could say, "Oh, Gen Z, blah, blah, blah." No, not always, you know? Um the age range that hates me the most is Gen X, always. I don't know why they hate me, but they do. I have, like, 2 really good friends that are Gen Xers, and then the rest of them are just like, "Fuck you, you fucking fat fuck bitch." And I'm like, "Okay. Okay, I guess." No shit, fucking children, no, seriously. And yeah, I see the numbers, like, the people will get more viewers in here, and then occasionally I'll mention something political because hi, Johnny. Thank you very much. So I've got 3 Gen X fans. This is awesome. And I'll mention something political occasionally. And I love you too, Angel. And then I'll lose people. And I understand because you want like a break from the world or whatever, but please don't be a pussy. The Beatles are inherently political. Actually, being an art and making art is political. Being creativity is political, and the Beatles are extremely political. So, and I am political, and I am just generally a human being that cares about other human beings. So, if I get a text from my best friend saying there's an ice raid less than 2 miles away, I'm gonna say it, and I'm also gonna talk about things that come up because, um, it's important, and it's on my mind, like, we're just chatting. You're just chatting. I've said forever that you can't separate the Beatles from political context, and why would you? Like, why should you? You know what I mean? Like, I know you wouldn't, Sam, but it's like, why do it? And I hear, like, people where it's like, "Let's just enjoy the music," and I feel like you can't enjoy the music without understanding the politics behind it. I have theory that Gen X have been raised by the post-80s tropes, and they don't like it questioned. Absolutely, and I feel as if the post-80s tropes are extremely to be very real. I'm gonna lose, like, the 19 people here, it's gonna, like, drop to 8, homophobic. So there's, like, extremely homophobic things that just won't whenever I talk about any sort of gay stuff, I get shut down so quick, and I'm like, "Okay, shut me down, I'm not going anywhere." I have 6,000 subscribers, it's not like, I'm not huge, it's not like a big you're not gonna scare me off, it's not about pleasing anybody over here, I just do what I do, you know? But yeah, the 80s were extremely homophobic for a bunch of reasons and, the AIDS crisis and all kinds of stuff, and it's like it's so I see a lot of homophobia in my comment section, which is crazy to me because I've never been quiet about being non-binary and bi, like being an extremely gay person. It's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know who you think you're listening to. Gen Z here, love your shit. Art is everything and can be everything. It also deserves to be analyzed in whatever way one sees fit. Yeah, absolutely. It's important, to have conversation about art and to enjoy it. Um, and also it's important to be able to just have like when things are just awful, just to be able to go home, put on some music or movie or whatever, and just let it wash over you and comfort you and take you into like a blanket of safety and happiness. So it doesn't always have to be like this, you know. It doesn't always have to be this heady and annoying. You don't always have to have some like fat redhead fuck preaching at you to enjoy the Beatles. Like you definitely don't need to agree with me to enjoy the Beatles, but uh I'm still gonna be the mean one. Let's see here. An effort to vilify the past so as to make the present and future look better. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Uh 88 agree. Or 88 agree. I'm glad that I discovered punk and broke all those tropes down. Um so that flag on your so that flag on your videos wasn't a real rainbow? What? Yeah, no, seriously. I have my I have the just the regular inclusive gay flag on my window with the non-binary flag, which I don't think a lot of people know know like the non-binary flag really just, I mean, a lot of people do, you know, but I don't think a lot of people just see it and understand it. Speaking of redheads, Blonde Redhead is a great indie group from back in the day. Def check them out. Okay, I'll put in a little pin. As we talked about during our Live Aid chat, I didn't see people on stage that looked like me. Yeah, absolutely. And I keep seeing brought up in my recommended that conversation with David Bowie calling out MTV for not playing black music. It's just such, it's crazy just to, you know, I mean, it's still happening today, obviously, but it's like, man, the blatant actions of people in the 80s was not that long ago, you know. It just in the big blip of things, you know. Go watch Cosmos and stand on that calendar. 80s was not that long ago. And it was still simultaneously too long ago. You know what I mean? For some of the things. But I don't know. It's like Reagan, just a lot of Reagan. Love Blonde Redhead. Saw them at Street Fest in 2010s. I love that like all my subscribers know way more about music than me. I'm just like, cool. That's great. Awesome. I'm like, why am I here? Just just to talk at you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm worthless. Oh, man. 11:59. Okay. We're going to Indy. Don't stalk me. We're going down there this afternoon, and the show starts at 7, and I'm for to see Beatles orchestra music, and I am so stoked to see that, and I just know I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my soul. Christmas is all around us, so let the feeling grow. If you know, you know. Um, no, I feel it that I'm just gonna sob the whole time. And my partner's just gonna be like, old, you know, but I'm glad we looked into some of the stuff because it's like arrive 30 minutes early. The doors close 5 minutes before, which makes sense because it's orchestral music. Um, yeah. So that's why we're making the new version. Yeah. Yeah. Kyle knows what we're saying. Ugh. Brr. Is Jade still here? Jade? I was wondering. Sorry, I have to drink some water, or else I'm gonna lose my voice. Sorry if I swallow really loud. That's so annoying. I've been swimming at the in the mornings, and one of the like lifeguards is super young, and I was talking with with her, and there was another guy that was over there, and she was talking about some of the people she listens to, and there were some people I recognized. I was like Billy and like Chapel Roan and like stuff like that, but there were other people I was like, I haven't even heard. I was like, I listen to the Beatles like a lot, and he was like, you listen to the Beatles? And I was like, yeah, I listen almost exclusively to the Beatles. He was like, well, I like the Beatles, and I was like, good Good man. Good man. And I just was like, maybe we shouldn't get in this conversation because this man will never be able to leave the YMCA this morning. Like, if we start talking, I'll be like, "So, like, you like the Beatles? Do you wanna talk about, like, what do you like about the what songs do you like?" I don't talk about the Beatles to people in real life, so it's like I try to it's like a dog on a leash. It's like, "You're too enthusiastic. You're too enthusiastic." You know, when you walk past a dog and they're like, you can tell that they're excited just to see another person. That's me. Athena has been playing Beatles songs with her class. Oh, really? Wait, what is she playing with her class? We need more information on this. Fantastic. A classy evening out at the symphony. Have a great time. Thank you so much, Johnny. I'm so excited. We're going to go thrifting and we're going to go to eat at this one place I really like. Hi, Dynamite. What's up? Um, and we're going to listen to Beatles music and then we're going to come home and we're probably going to like watch some sumo wrestling or something. Even though we already finished out the tournament, there's like more stuff. There was a tournament this uh month. That was me when I found out another person in my club really liked the Beatles. Yeah, no, I'm so fucked if I meet someone in real life, which I don't have a lot of like in real life friends because I work from home and my support system is almost all family. So I get really fucked when I know that someone else likes the Beatles in real life. I'm like, do you want to talk about it? It's the same thing when somebody like watches Lost, but it's way worse when it's the Beatles. I just wanna talk about them. I just wanna talk about them. It's like, can you fault me? Just and it's weird because the Beatles are so popular that I'm like, I should be running into people left, right, center that are obsessed with the Beatles. Like, somebody talk to me about the Beatles. I should probably make an effort to get out of my house more. That's more on me. Billie Eilish likes the Fabs. Yes, Billie loves the Beatles. She sang for her homeschooled talent show when she was 8 years old. She sang "Happiness is a Warm Gun," which I think is awesome. She liked the song. She likes Julia a lot. It's a 24/7 desire to just talk about them. Most of my best friends are Beatle fans. Yeah, I just like Jared, he respects the Beatles, but he's not into them, which is, like, fair, that's fine. Um, but, like, let's see, George was more religious than political, agree? No. I think for George, I think for George, he's religious as in spiritual, but politics, political, r- his spirituality in itself, in the tenets that he's uh purported to believe in, was inherently political. Uh, I have that IG text thread with 3 other Beatle nuts. I meet the odd Beatles fan in the wild, but no one who really researches them and listens to bootlegs and whatnot. I don't listen to bootleg. Am I a bad Beatles fan? Don't answer that. You can't separate George's religiousness from his politics either. Thank you, Sam. Bangladesh was activism for sure. And I mean, he was political, you know, he went on to talk about in 96 talk about them as like said that they were like Pakistani Hitlers, and we can't talk about Bangladesh. I'll start crying. But George is extremely political, and his beliefs in the spirituality that he borrowed from many different spiritual. He didn't call himself. He wasn't Krishna, even though he was extremely enmeshed, I would say, with the Krishna culture and Krishna followers. But and he wasn't Buddhist, but he was also very much into that. Um, and he wasn't Hindu, but he didn't purport or believe in a specific religion, but he had spiritual beliefs from all different ones of them, and all of those beliefs that he spouted were all very political. I don't think you can separate religion from politics in general. Yeah, exactly. But so it would be impossible to say that, you know, um, that George specifically, who is so spiritual, I wouldn't be able to do that. George wasn't doing bed-ins. His activism was low key, but all high frequency. Yes, exactly. Like, he wasn't talking about it, but the beliefs that he wanted to talk about were very political. And of course, there were things that were like, why were you meeting with Kissinger? But there were things that were different, um, that George was continuing to do. He seemed to have mixed Krishna and Christianity. Well, I don't think I'm gonna stop there on that with any sort of Christianity conversation with the Beatles because we're not gonna do it. I'm gonna stop there. Piggies, yeah, exactly. Glad you decided to stream personally. I've been feeling super blah this morning. And this discussion, hey Chris, and this discussion got me moving. Coffee. Are we drinking coffee? Anybody drinking coffee? I know it's 12 here where I live, but are we drinking coffee? Are we eating? What are we doing, guys? Somebody talk to me. Let's talk about not. Let's see. I have the worst sinuses right now. There's Chris McGovern, the Gen X Muse podcaster. They sorry, just had me on there working on a 4-part White Album project. Just had me on. So go to wherever you get your podcasts, look for the Gen X Muse. Even if you don't want to listen to it, subscribe and review 5. 11 a.m. here, drifting off to sleep soon. Cool. Yeah, definitely. I'm going by she too, actually. Okay, good. Sorry. Let's see. He was also friends with Jackie Stewart, who was quite conservative. George had a lot of ran the gamut, and I think actually all 4 of them very much do that, particularly Ringo. Which is more than I like. They're a lot more open-minded with people that they don't agree with than I am. 1 a.m. Okay, yeah, cool. Saw the new movie Markiplier made last night. If anyone watches him, lol. Hey, how was that, by the way? Just out of sheer curiosity. I don't watch him really, but I know of him, respect him. Yeah, so go subscribe to As We Go Along with Angel. That's my mod and my friend. And he does fire sign chats with all kinds of music people, musicians local to the Chicago scene and all kinds of people, and just recently dropped an episode with Abigail DeVoe. George had the line, while the Pope owns 51% of General Motors and awaiting on you all. Yeah, like George's politics never really left. Typical late January day here in Canada. It's very cold. George liked that saying, do not look at friend with magnifying glass. Yeah. Or let his foibles pass. Yeah. That friar that owned Friar Park before him. Let's see. What was I going to say? It's 14 here, 14 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like -5. But it's going to be okay, so it's not gonna be too bad because in the next week we get up to 35, so that's not so bad. Cockamamie business from the late 80s was kind of Piggy's part 2. George's politics are a hot mess. Not really sure if he ever made it clear where he stands. Yeah, I know. It's hard, politically. And here's the thing too, because we're Americans, and UK politics are different. They're different than ours, right? That's what's so confusing. It's different. It's just different. So, and I have such a hard time because Ringo is clearly in a lot of ways fiscally conservative. But socially extremely liberal and always has been. But now, as an old man, a lot of conservative values coming from Ringo. Do I fault the guy? No, he's fucking 84. And especially those guys living through what they lived through, living in Liverpool, Port City, so close to the war having affect all of them coming from such extreme poverty. Well, George would be, but we're talking particularly Ringo. There's a different life experience that I just can't understand. Am I voting system or whatever is that they have like the weird parties. Your connection is unstable. Damn it. Guys, Angel, if I go black, will you text me? Um, Angel, Chris, any of you guys? Let's see what. Okay, let's see. What's fiscally conservative, financially conservative? So talking about um tax write-offs, etc. Um Pretty good, actually. The story was solid, cool horror. Okay, some like gore. It's a blood ocean. I love gore. It's totally fine. I'm I love horror movies. Love horror movies. Some shots seem too dark to really discern what was going on, but I think it's a great debut for him. Oh, that's so cool. What is that movie called? I think you also need to consider the fact that generally the more money you have, the more likely that you will be conservative. Yeah, absolutely, because conservative politics coincides with retaining wealth. Absolutely, absolutely, and it's, we just watched Bone Lake. Which one's that? Like, it's I I personally have a hard time with it, right? But I when are you grew up in poverty, like extreme poverty. 3 out of 4 Beatles really did. But even John, and I know it's mostly his, like, wealth is because of where his house was located and the fact that it was detached. He didn't have like, there wasn't a lot to spare in the Mimi Smith household. Um, and so it's so I feel like there's some sort of, like, conception that he was, like, super well off, and he was in a better living space, but not necessarily well off. It was just more that, he was in a better living space, he had a regular person at home, and there was a lot of emphasis on reading, so there was just more time and more space. The things that money does, um allow for, but it wasn't like he got stuff. Like, it wasn't like he was super cushy. It wasn't like that, at all for John. So he was it even if he wasn't certainly in poverty, he was surrounded by it and his friends were around it. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So, I think the thing that we don't really talk about enough is that so the Beatles, um they're extremely impoverished in in the 50s growing through even in 60, they come back from Hamburg, no money from that at all. It was all about the music. They, finally sign a contract. They're doing okay, that's fine. It takes a long time for them to really accumulate wealth. By the time they are accumulating wealth, they are giving away 91% of their earnings, which is a lot. We could change the world if any billionaire gave away, uh, 50% of their shit, but they don't, like, they don't because of all the things that they do. But the Beatles were giving away all of their money. In addition to that, they, um they had ongoing lawsuits. They had a lawsuit, we don't talk about this enough, with Pete Best. They had a lawsuit with US manufacturers. They had ongoing lawsuits with all kinds of things that Brian had to do with and that they weren't really aware of, and then later they have their own lawsuits with each other, and then, John had that suit with, oh my god, why I can see his face. Guys, help me. Chuck Berry. And then George obviously had his lawsuit. Like, there's a lot of like, these people are, like, taking their money, right? Constantly. So, yes, thank you, Sam. Chuck Berry. So, there's just ongoing issues, and if you think about it, if you are aware of the terms scarcity mindset, where you grew up in a situation where you don't have money in a way that it's like you are in a cold house. You're in a cold, damp house. You remember your childhood home feeling moist and cold because you don't have insulation. This is George talking here. Um, that you always ate okay, but there was not anything to go around. You have one thing, one thing, one thing, one thing of one thing or whatever. And it's you want to keep what you can, and then you feel like, justified or otherwise, that you're not able to keep what you've earned, right? So I understand what they might feel is like a dragon hoarding the wealth of, "I want it, I need to hold on to it. I What if I lose it? What if I lose it? Like, it could be taken away again tomorrow. I have no I have no guarantee that I will be able to have any wealth for any legacy, for any charity, for anything at all. Like, hey, radio, it is 12:17 p.m. So technically, for Lars land, this is morning. Um, well, my sleep schedule is so weird, and if I tell you guys are gonna like not, you guys are gonna like hang up on me. So anyway, um, back to my thing. So George, so if you think about it, really, if you think about it from a sign of empathy, you know, uh, you'll understand that he starts keeping what he can because he's like, "What am I gonna do? Like, what if they take it again?" And then with Bangladesh, that he has to pay taxes on in the US and in the UK. So rather than have it go to the consumer or onto the business or especially into the charity, he pays it, and then it winds up in escrow for 10 years anyway, and it's a whole thing and he takes on the financial burden even then. So it's like, I understand it, and those are things that I fear in this very black and white, if you're not, be on the right side of history type of world. And I get it because we do need to be having these difficult conversations. I fear these thoughts are being lost when we're talking about where our boys end up on the political spectrum because of where they grew up. um and for all my shit talk about Lewison, and you guys should know that I'm more balanced than I think my reputation has come to give it. But he talked about when Paul had seen all around him the families that were dealing with divorce were families that were struggling with money trouble, and so there was an association that money issues were causing havoc to the home. So, um, he that's something that he put in mind. Money is stability in many ways. So I need money to make sure that I have for security, right? And he was always very concerned about money. His mom dies. He's asking his dad, like, "What are we gonna do? You don't make enough money. What about we need mom's money?" Which it's so funny the way that the things you think about when someone dies. It's not, I think he viewed it as I was so unempathetic, and it's like, "No, that's just you think about the weird shit when people die. It's not it's not bad. You're just um a box luxury. I would have I would have loved to be born in a box." What is that from? The Handmade Films documentary has some fantastic George material. Okay. I would have loved to hear the boys talking about how poor they were, upping the ante like a Monty Python sketch. Yeah, and it's like it's funny, it's very different from our world, and I have a lot of sympathy and empathy. Well, I don't know if I can have empathy for what they've been through, and it's not because I don't. It's because I grew up in a really privileged situation. um, just got here, what I missed. So we are talking right now about financial Zeno's like, "What I miss?" And I'm like, "Okay, how are we gonna explain this?" By the way, my hair is not this short, guys. It's pulled up. I just wanted to, like, say that. Um, like, I didn't go full manic, okay? Um, I just wanted to explain. So, a lot. Okay, so what we're talking about is financial conservatism in the Beatles due to their impoverished upbringing. and how financial conservatism doesn't necessarily land them on, like, the bad side of politics. Hang on, my friend, hang on. It's just really t talk amongst yourselves, would you? Sorry, my friend is very near an ice raid, I just best friend, to be clear. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Everything's okay. Alright. I feel Paul always makes a big thing out of John not being a working class hero, but I don't think he was that wealthy at all. I don't know. Okay, you saw it blackout. Am I back? Am I good? Angel, am I back? Um, Here. Read today that ICE are clashing with Canadian, Indigenous, and First Nations people. These are bleak times. Yeah. Hey, chat, you're gonna have to deal with. Okay, you're gonna have to deal with political conversation today. Um, you know what? I'm gonna change my pinned note. Okay, just pin that. Okay. So, like, I was watching a video because my best friend is Lakota, so like we're just keeping track of things, and someone from their tribe, like, they just had to go up to Minnesota because they're holding a couple of Indians, which, by the way, I've learned recently, not supposed to say Native Americans. Well, we can, but they say Indians, so it's like we'll just we'll just follow what they do. You know, they've been taking them in, they're like detaining them, or they can't find them. So they released one of them, and now they're, what is going on with my Wi-Fi? Ah! So it's just really scary. Um, and it's like, basically, I'm trying to think of what his name is. He's a wonderful spokesperson for First Nations folks. Like, he's great. I've heard so many speeches by him, but he was like, "We're not leaving. We're gonna be here until we can get our folks back." And one of the guys, I've completely forget his name. He goes, "We're our res is closed to ICE, so you can stay off our fucking land." You're not coming here. It's officially closed. You're not coming here. England had some rural places too. The Beatles grew up near that. Only John's aunt was financially well off. Yeah, and it's really interesting if you look at maps from that time. It's very different. Paul and George were not upper class. Um, Paul and George and Ringo were all very much low class. Ringo was far below the poverty line. Rural poverty exists too. Yes, rural poverty is extremely undertouched as a subject. I did this in-depth piece on rural poverty and homelessness in a local area to mine, and it was like a month and a half of work. It was, I'm so proud of it, but it was hard, and I was able to speak with a girl, who lives in a rural area, and homelessness is just, it was like, they don't even see us. We live, in front of a gas station type thing, well, she's good now, but it's crazy, if we don't talk about it, people just assume, it's like, homeless people. Hang on real quick. I have to relinquish or free my cat from the bedroom. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Do not leave. Be nice to each other. this cat is the really shy one, and he heard me talking, and he's like, "Who are you talking to? What's going on?" Ozzy was really poor. Oh my god, yeah. Oh, Ozzy, talk about talk about a character arc kind of story. My god. There's like shit about Ozzy that I just wish I didn't know, and I love Ozzy. I've loved Ozzy longer than I love the Beatles. Do I love him as much? But he would probably fall in like second place musically. Maybe not second. Okay. Um, yeah, so Elsie never stopped working, and she always picked up any job. Like she was always doing whatever she could. And then in addition, Ringo had um, like family, grandparents and stuff that would help out too. But it was just very much of in a very poor situation. I think I mentioned I'm reading the anthology book. Yeah, it's extremely good. Um, yeah, Ringo's mom had to wash clothes to support him at one point. Yeah, she cleaned the streets. She would go out and, like, sweep streets, clean off stairs, like, the stoops. Did a lot of crazy shit. She was out there working her ass off, and even when Harry, his stepdad, came into the picture when Ringo was in his early, like, preteen. I forget exactly the age, but and so they had a second income. Elsie was still working. It wasn't like it didn't really it was helpful, but it wasn't a lot. Um, the good thing about Harry was that it was stable living, so you had the ability to, like, a breathing room, understanding you have a paycheck coming. Um, Also, Ringo was a very sick kid. I can't imagine that on top of the money troubles. And here's what's interesting, because I'm obviously doing lots of Ringo research. I mean, it's been like on hold, but it's always kind of happening. I don't know anything about. I mean, the NHS exists. I don't know what was going on then, but I don't know anything about bills for that. Like, obviously, the American system is so different, but it's like financially, I'm assuming the financial strain would be to trying coming to visit him and stuff like that. My uncle told me that when he was in the army in the early 1960s, he visited a diner in Atlanta and they refused service to his black army buddy, both in uniform. They promptly left. Crazy. Like, so my mom, so she was born in 58, and the NHS had only just started when Ringo got really sick. Well, thank God. You'd think I would have looked that up. You think I would have done like a fucking Google search. Isn't that embarrassing? Don't listen to me, guys. Well, do. I need it, but, like, don't. Form your own opinion. Um, like, so, my mom was born in '58, and where she lived, and I'm not gonna mention that, uh, but where she lived, um, Ringo wanted to become a hairdresser, so that conversation, that was always, a little nod to Maureen because she was a hairdresser, so he kind of said that as a way to kind of say, to her, give a nod to her, but also I'm assuming in his head, he was probably thinking, "Might as well, she's a hairdresser, I could probably open a bunch of hair salons." Well, and it's not even so much the thing about being a barber isn't so much that it's like a good paying gig, it's that that it's people will always need to get a haircut, you know what I mean? Especially barbers. Imagine if Ringo grew up in present time with all his ailments. Man, he would have been in a much better position. He wouldn't have ripped all of his stitches. Um, there's a weird book I own where it's what if they broke up and Ringo goes off to be a hairdresser? Yeah, someone on Patreon was talking about that. 2 hairdressers. Yeah, I don't remember. I have a zombie book called Paul is Dead, and it's, like, about him being a zombie. Um, Probably wanted to finance her salon. Yeah, Andrea, that's exactly what I was thinking. Um, but no, okay, back to my mom's thing. So, my mom was born in '58, and she remembers having a segregated playground and having like, not segregated. Black people weren't even allowed to swim in the community pool, and she remembered them just, like, jumping the fence and swimming, you know, and she's like, "It's just crazy," you know, and then a couple years later, it was cleared, but just crazy. Um, in the Ruddles documentary, the drummer went on to be a hairdresser. Bubble Hotep remake with Paul. It's called Liverpool Fantasy. Oh, interesting. Mm. Barry Wom of the Ruddles did just that. He's a good Ringo. He's a really good Ringo. Ugh. I just thank God that that's not what happened. Also, with Rory Storm and the hurricanes, they played UK holiday camps. That gets into hospitality and the service industry. Yeah, absolutely. Your mom is 8 years younger than my dad. Nice. I disagree with the guy, though. He makes George a priest. No, George would. I don't think he would be a priest, especially if they're breaking up like that early on. That's not happening. George's spiritual awakening didn't come until much later, and I think his spiritual awakening only came because of certain opportunities afforded to him. John Halsey is his name. He's a badass drummer. Okay. I think George turned his back on the Catholic Church. Well, yes and no, because that would have like his I don't know how to explain what I want to say. So I loved Stig's transformation. Yeah. I loved the Ruddles. And I still will stand by. I feel like the Shadows didn't get enough shine. Those instrumentals were crazy. I need to listen to these people more. I'd like to be a hairdresser too. I'd like to be 2 hairdressers. Yeah. Dude, sorry. The world is going crazy right now. I'm getting texts and everything. I think sorry guys, hang on just a second. I'm losing it. The Shadows, from what I understand, were like the UK equivalent to the Ventures. The world is in a tumble. I love the Ruddles. I wish I skipped part 2. I still haven't seen part 2 yet. Poor John might have just been straight up criminal. Probably would have been. Like, if you think about all the stuff that he was doing, it's like I think he would have finished school, but I don't know how promising his art career would have been. I think he kind of would have been like, just kind of like your trashy nephew that never really went anywhere and gets yelled at a lot. I mean, probably something like that. Or he could have been, just a brilliant writer. I just don't know if he would have been able to do that. So I don't think Ringo would have been a hairdresser. I don't know what Ringo would have done. But it is what it is. My God. Put your phone down for 5 seconds and everything happens. He would have been a lot of trouble for a lot of people. I found a comic once where it pretty much went crazy with the theory that Paul died. Let me see. Hang on. I wonder. Shit. I'm knocking everything over. Oh, it's not this. Okay, I can't get that out. I was gonna get it out, but it is wedged in there. It's called Paul is Undead, and it's about zombie Paul. People are psychotic about their beliefs with Paul is dead. I saw this one thing. Oh yeah, so there was a wrestling like little TikTok. It was clipping an interview with someone who did the music for wrestling music intros, and they had a backward speech little clip in this, and it was very supposed to be, like, very horror, scary, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, and the person telling the story was like, that composer was a huge Beatles fan, and it was a tribute to We Buried Paul. And I was like, "Oh my god." And so I'm just, like, looking in the comments, and I'm like, "Hi, it wasn't We Buried Paul, it was cranberry sauce, and it wasn't reversed, it was just there, is John playing around." It's really easy to hear, and I could see, like, a couple other Beatles fans, and we are just fighting for our lives in this comment section because people are saying all kinds of shit, and we're just like, uh yeah, okay, that ending in Yesterday made me puke. Um, let's see. I just, I have not seen I have not seen Yesterday, but I've seen the ending, and I have always had super like, as once I was a fan, I was like, "That seems crazy that not Paul, John would be so at peace, just, like, vibing," and it was just did braids on my hair for the first time ever. You pop off, girl. I love that. Um, I hope that you feel very do you feel bonita? I am bonita. Um, I always felt like that was such a mischaracterization for a movie that I'm assuming was made by Beatles fans. Like, what a crazy thing to put like, that had to be somebody had to be a Beatles fan, like, on the script or something. Why would you make I feel like that's fan service where it's like, we want to believe that if John was alive now, that he would be really happy and that he would be at peace and he would have a nice house and apparently be thick, like not fat, but like apparently, and he would look just totally different than he actually looks. Cause everybody, I think people were like, wow, I was like blown away when I saw that scene. It was just so crazy to see John like that. And I'm like, that guy does not look like John Lennon to me. And he never did. Um, and I think Paul was very nice in his interviews where he's like, "Yeah, it was kind of bizarre to see it, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "He does not believe that. He's being nice." He does not think that. But but also Paul is probably, like, vying for any ability to think of John as an old man, so maybe he does think that. I don't know anything about Richard Curtis off the top of my head. Uh, Edward Edwin Canistrasi did some really good Paul's Dead videos. He acknowledges that it's not real, but if you're into the clues that the mystery tour film is slept on for clues, um, AI Linnet is essentially Harry Potter. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Like, it's just very weird. He's a good actor that plays John, but it's a bit like some of the AI we're seeing. The AI stuff is extremely disturbing to me, and it's actually there was a point last week where I was like, "Am I just gonna, you know, throw on some eyeliner, get in front of my phone, and just yell for a minute about the AI?" Because I'm seeing so much generative AI in the Beatles space that I find just really disturbing, embarrassing, lazy, and I did maybe preemptively yell at someone a little too early. They didn't understand the, like, issues with using AI as much like, he was very like, "I just wanna do the right thing," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm sorry for being" I was like, I was, like, posting on Instagram, "This guy's a loser," and I'm like, "Lars, oh my god, you're such a fucking asshole," you know? Like, "Stop being such a dick," and not Lars trying not to be an asshole, that's never gonna happen, but I'm okay-ish with AI to enhance existing content. It has to be applied well, but I have big, big problems with content totally made with AI. AI, let's see, I'm trying to think of what the word is for my god, it's not agenerative, it's agentic AI. So agentic AI performs tasks autonomously and can pursue goals by interacting with its environments. So that's like um when you're it's basic like if we're thinking about AI, agentic AI. That's like when you use it's like sincerely your autocorrect on your phone. That's what that is. So we've been using AI like that. I mean, we've been using AI like that since the birth of computers. We've all been using AI. Any sort of tool that makes our lives easier, like Siri, all of that stuff is like it's AI, right? It's all artificial intelligence. It is a computer with an algorithm helping us make our lives easier. Agentic AI, I'm assuming that's how we say it, so that's what we're going with, is totally fine and it is ethical. It is not taking away anyone's jobs, really. It is efficiency based. Um, it's definitely like it's okay to use that. I like the only AI tools I use for editing, like if you're curious, is and I don't even use this very much anymore, but I have used it before, is on Premiere Pro. There's the ability to cut out likes and ums and you can also cut out pauses and stuff like that, but I've learned that with all the when I do zooms in and I put, like, little things up here, um, it makes cuts and things, and it'll change, like, my aspect ratio, so it'll make easier things for me if I just leave it and cut it myself, um, but I it's just a long story, but, those things exist and I've used them before. But with AI, generative AI, I've never used it. I've never used generative AI. I have used like a chat character AI before. Um, not like a as a regular hobby or anything, but it was like when it first came out, it was like a big meme on Twitter and I used it like for, like, a day, not even, like, a day. It was, like, I chatted on it for, like, 2 seconds, and I was like, "This is so, like, cringe," you know? And it was, like, a thing where everybody was posting their screenshots, and this little bot, within 2 interactions, said something so vulgar, I was like, "I'm not. I'm not posting that." Um, so, anyway, next thing I'm going to say. Now now and then, and I'm sure I mean, Get Back, all kinds of stuff used AI. The Mal program is AI to clean up and search for anomalies and things to fix and help with audio and also to clean up footage. And the thing that I was seeing a lot of complaints um with Anthology was I can't believe they're using AI on Anthology, and I felt that way for a second, and then I was like, "But it's not generative AI. It's not. It's a cleaning up tool. Does it look good? That's between you and your maker." Like, I didn't think it was so egregious. I thought it was sloppy considering it was the Beatles, and not necessary considering it was the Beatles. If you felt that the product was so bad that you needed to use AI upscaling, there's plenty of 16 or 32 shot film footage of the Beatles that upscales fine to, I think, 8K. We don't need AI. You just need to be less lazy and find better B-roll. If I can do it, I promise you, Disney and Wingnut Labs, you can do it. Don't be so lazy because when people pause on stuff like that, you see Paul looking like, and then everybody gets really mad on Reddit. Like, I promise you, will it take you a couple more days? Sure, but you have a budget and I don't. Like, I think it's absolutely psychotic. But that's not generative AI. What's generative AI is when you go into some sort of weird chat GPT, and you say, "Chat GPT, what does what did John say about George's blowjob dream?" And then this weird little robot will say, "Hi, that's crazy. I actually found that John said ba 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 ba." Whereas you could go to Google and say, "John Lennon, George Harrison blowjob dream," and you can find the information. You can actually get a little plugin that will remove those AI overviews. I use a different browser. I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo. But I promise you, before ChatGPT existed, we were using Google. And now that ChatGPT exists, we can still use Google. We can still use browser searches. Every time you use ChatGPT, water is used to cool down those servers, and it is taking our resources, our finite resources. It's ruining our environment. It's taking away jobs. It's ruining, I could go on forever. That's just ChatGPT. The amount of ethical complications to be kind about creative AI, generative AI, if we're talking about videos, photos, any of those things, um, is disturbing. We're stealing from photos, like copyright photos, people's art and drawings, and we're taking that to create things. We're seeing like the weirdest photos of the Beatles. um you'll like I go on Pinterest and I see a photo of like John and Paul like holding hands almost, and it's not like it was before. It's like they look very real because our dumb asses are getting on Sora and whatever and like say like, "Hey Sora, make a picture of me with Kim Kardashian in a BBL," and whatever. What are Gen Z people looking for now? Hey, hey Sora, make a I'm gonna say, "Hey Sora, make a picture of Charlie Kirk dressed as a chicken with the Mar-a-Lago face, um, on a being crucified." And it's like photorealistic photo of Charlie Kirk dressed in a chicken suit, with Mar-a-Lago face being crucified, and because of that bullshit, because people are like, "I'm doing it for the meme, it's so funny. This goes on my TikTok and it goes viral." It's ruining our environment and our future and so much stuff. And then because of that shit, I go on Pinterest and I find this photo of John looking like this, and then Paul's leaning like on knee in front of him. And it's literally photos, like they're almost exact photos that I've seen of them that are real photos. And Paul's leaning in front of him, like, and it's like, stop it. Stop it. What are your thoughts on Internet Archive? There's copyrighted stuff on there. Oh, I support Internet Archive. I do 2 monthly donations to support um organizations that I feel are really important. And those organizations are Wikipedia and Internet Archive. I could donate to plenty of political or other types of organizations, NGOs, everything. But the most important thing in the world to me, and really, the most important thing in the world is that information is free, that we have access to find out about the world in an unbiased way, and that we have access to media and history. And if Wikipedia goes away, we lose so much. If Internet Archive goes away, we lose so much. And it's not, I, I am a lot more lax than I could be about owning copyrighted materials that you didn't pay for in certain ways, particularly because I am working in a world of half the shit that I own is out of print. Like, it's not, you can't find it. I don't have $500 to drop on Klaus Vorman's book, so I have scans of it. Like, so did I buy it fair and square? No. Did I buy a Beatles book monthly fair and square for all my videos that I work on? No, I found them on a no. Internet Archive, I guess, is technically AI. I found it there. I don't think that there's anything, and here's the thing, similar to YouTube or anything, if you find your content on Internet Archive, you can go and say, "Hey, please stop using it," and they will. Like, there's stuff you can upload and it will get taken down very quickly. That's even true to a degree for some Beatles stuff, where you'll be finding kind of weird versions of like the original anthology. The ones that I have Portuguese subtitles, but it's like that's what I have. But I also own anthology, so technically, I have the right to have it downloaded. It's just whatever. Um, a book about A Hard Day's Night by Samira Ahmed is coming in June if thou art interested. Oh yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Let's see. Let's go up. In a Ringo video, you described Ringo's family living in the dingle for generations. I saw an anthology event video where many Starkey family members attended, and I was struck how things change. The dingle is a total. It's very touristy now. Like it's kind of full of lots of stuff. It is still there's still plenty of suburban housing that area, but it has changed quite a bit. There's so much generative AI stuff in the Beatles space. It keeps popping up on my For You page, and I want it to go away. And that's the thing. I like reputable reputable Beatles fests are using generative AI posts, and it's so gross, and it's embarrassing, like, it's cringy because you could use any photos, like, you could reach out to any fans will do the shit for free. You could ask them, like, they would do it just for the fun, for the love of the game, do a little doodle of the Beatles. Paul keeps cloning himself, that's why he does so much, I agree. There's a Grateful Dead channel I started checking out, but they use AI for the voiceovers, then I would stop using them. Let's see, BlockTube, yeah, if I see anything with AI, I actually, will remove that channel, like, don't recommend channel and whatever. Technology shouldn't be involved in the creative side of the arts, only as tools. It should help us save time with tasks we don't wanna do so we can create art. Exactly, Andrea. Lars, did Paul okay on George Martin's son using AI on John's songs? So, okay. So if we're talking about now and then, Ringo and Paul were completely involved in Giles Martin. We don't need to Giles has worked enough, not just in the Beatles space, but like in music production in general, that we don't need to be giving him the blank blank Nepo baby intro. Giles Martin, everybody will know who he is. So Giles Martin did work on those with AI. From what I understand, is that Paul and Ringo with Real Love and Free as a Bird, the new releases, from what I understand, they Paul and Ringo had no say on that. They didn't, and it's not that they were like it was against their will. It was that they just weren't involved. That Danny and Sean had the input on that, and that Ringo and Paul said, "We trust you. That's great. You go for it." I don't think that Paul or Ringo gave a single fuck about the anthology release. I'm so sorry, guys, but I don't think that they cared at all. I think that their social media teams shared stuff and, Ringo kept touring and Paul kept touring and they didn't care. They were like, "That's fine. Um, anything to avoid the Rubber Soul release, we're just not gonna do it. I don't care." I don't think that they care. It's just another um business decision. But those songs, I think that they just kind of whatever. But I saw a comment on my Real Love video that was like, this is one of the most insane comments. Not that just me, this line of thinking. They were like, I bet Paul is had all those George solo clips taken out because he's still uh bitter about the Hey Jude answering guitar moments. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Like, you really don't. Paul doesn't give a shit. I don't mind them using it on the Shea Stadium stuff in the anthology though, because you could finally hear them and see them all being goofy and happy together. Yeah, no, Dynamite, I'm with you. Like I don't mind some of this stuff. Like it's just, but it's hard. Like I understand. I don't feel like we needed generative AI for that. I understand why you're saying that. What I'm thinking, because I said that before I remembered that there were generative parts. I don't I I don't agree in any um stretch that there should be any generative AI Beatle music ever. Like or any music. Like if somebody goes, "Hey, Grok, make me a Billie Eilish song." Like that's bullshit. Don't do that. Like, hey, Grok, refurbish this one. No, don't do that. Like, and I think that's total crap. And we shouldn't do that. We don't need that. We don't. There's so much Beatles stuff. We don't need any fabricated Beatles stuff, right? And I don't think that we needed to have any fabricated Beatles footage for Shea Stadium. There's plenty of fun B-roll from fans and cops and Brian and weird stuff that they could have put. There was so much that they could have done that they didn't. They kind of failed us there. Um, let's see here. Let's see. I don't mind it. Peak Dylan for me. I wonder if they used AI to recreate John singing at the church he played at. Uh, that's a question. We have photos of it. I don't know about. I don't think we have videos. I think that. I think Sam. Can you answer that? Was there? Is there video for the Fate? I think Walton Fate. We just have the photos, correct? I was not a fan, but I'm a bit exhausted by. Okay, let's see. Did you like the film they did on him? Okay, I liked the A Complete Unknown movie. And here's the thing, that with as a person who like has a background in very much being very interested in film and TV. Film, TV and movies, right? Um so I'm not a Bob fan. It's nothing personal, it's not like a Beach Boys situation. I'm just not. I haven't gone into them, right? But I went to go see the movie. I thought it was a great movie. I was like, wow, this is great. Even though it's Timothy Chalamet, he's a super recognizable actor. I thought he did just his damnedest to disappear. He didn't, because it's Timothy Chalamet, but he did a good job. I was like very happy with it. But I'm not a Bob fan, so I didn't know all the inaccuracies and all the things that I saw people talking about, that like little things that would irk them. So I didn't have that. But I know I have the foresight. I'm a smart person thinking ahead of time, because I know me. I'm a total asshole. I'm nitpicky in the worst way, and I will not be able to enjoy the movie as a movies, those four, because I'll just be thinking about shit that is wrong or that isn't good enough or blah blah blah. It's just not, you know. Anyway, let's see. I go on Pinterest and it's full of Gen AI. How do you guys feel about the new photos released about the Beatles biopics? They have not swayed my opinions. I will not be seeing them. To my shame, I only went to John's house and didn't do the tour. Oof. Let's see. Yeah, Internet Archive went down sometime last year. Yes, and I was devastated, but it came back. So it's still not quite the same. Let's see. I downloaded Wings Over America because it's been discontinued on Blu-ray from Internet Archive. Well, we were watching something on Patreon, and during that, somebody wanted to watch Shea Stadium. Chris, Gen X Muse wanted to watch Shea Stadium, so I found it on Internet Archive. Speaking of politics and AI, there was a couple accounts that were posting videos of Rick Wilson and Rachel Maddow that was AI generated. I've been reporting them. Yeah. Ugh. Check out Lars community posts. I think Paul and Ringo just locked out of nostalgia bait. Yeah. Just locked out of nostalgia bait after the anthology series. That was their final purposeful reminiscing for them. Yeah. After Now and Then, I think yeah. Next, I'm sure we will get AI Beatles doing songs they never did before. We already have that. I got some shithead comment. I'm trying to think of what video it was, but I was such a bitch about it. It was for the anthology 4 release video in August. And they were like, I forget what they said to me. It doesn't matter. But what I remember was looking at their photo and I was like, that's AI Paul. So I clicked on their channel and it was all AI Beatle songs. And I was like, oh, that's rich for you to come here and say whatever you said, because I don't remember. It was a shit comment. And be making Beatles AI covers. And then somebody else, I don't know if it was Angel, I don't remember, but we all piled on. LMAO Beach Boy mentioned, yeah, well, we only have photos of Walton Fate and a bit of audio. Okay, so Sam answered that. They'll look goofy. Movies are going to be hot garbage. They massacred George in that new movie, Awful Choice. I was wondering if they would use AI to help the performance. They did, apparently. The John one was only okay because they hid him in shadows. Yeah. I've seen an upgraded photo of it. It's still weird. I found an AI Buddy Holly covering Elvis, If I Can Dream. If I see AI anything, like AI songs or some thumbnail that looks like I don't click on it. I do my best to never click on that stuff. If I see it, I don't give it views. Don't do anything. Like, don't interact with it. Learn from me. Do as I say, not as I do, because I will go on and see a Beatles AI post and I'll go on there and be like, "Hey, fucker, delete this bullshit. What are you doing?" It's like there's been a couple of people that are like big Beatles accounts, big Beatle fan accounts, to be clear, that have posted AI photos. And a bunch of us people that care have gone on there and said, "Hey, this is AI." And then they go on there and they're being like total assholes in response to those. And or one of them was just they have 60,000 not subscribers, followers on Instagram, and they were deleting all of the AI comments and stuff. And it was just like, you're a pussy. That's when you get to be mean. George looked like David Grohl. Yeah, and I commented back, like, what if I say he's not like the others? What if I say he's not just another one of your games? You're the pretender. What if I say I will never surrender? What if I say I like to fuck around? What if I say I knocked up another bitch that is not my fucking wife? Okay, anyway, I remember when Facebook posts about Paul giving supportive speeches about Charlie Kirk and his official accounts published. Remember, people, that any statement was through his officials. It was funny timing. Do you guys remember, what was it? Somebody's gonna remember this. There was shit, hang on. My God. What was I talking about? I'm so sorry. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, no, I remember. Beatles Fans Fest or whatever. The fest for Beatles fans. Okay. So, do you guys remember it was like a year ago they were sending out like Paul shows up at so and so's funeral, like not funeral, like deathbed, and it's like these photos of him and he's like do you guys know what I'm talking about? It was so embarrassing. And like it not only sent out like to a bunch of like the fest people and like the contributors. Oh, it was so embarrassing. And I'm not part of it. I just heard about it. I got screenshots of it. It was like, oof. You guys have an obligation to stay on top of media. Like, and even the older fans need to know. Oh look, cat. Yes, it's Jack. Let's see. I found one of the AI Beatles doing Raffi's banana phone. I actually kind of had to laugh. I saw that too. They did the same thing with Bob Dylan. Imagine a world where it's full of AI. It's wild. Half the world thought they were the Beatles for a few years. Paul did repost Bruce Springsteen's. Yes, he did. Let's see. His little face appearing there was funny. Yes, I saw that pig with Phil Collins. Oftentimes you can tell AI purely by the channel name. Yeah, it's always something weird. Or the language of origin, too. Hi, buddy. Look at my little Jack, my little baby boy. Hello. This is what we do. Usually I'll be working on this board back here, and I'll be like, hello, hello. I've got a little pillow over here. On what's the question, Northman? Have the little pillow over here, and I'll just stick them on it. I'll be like, stop walking over the keyboard, and it usually works. Harry, you guys should go support Harry in the Inner Light podcast. Is Jack behaving himself? He's being really cute right now. Yes. I'm gonna have to go soon. He's purring. This is like his little dark cotton ball moments when he's very cuddly, and he's not going crazy yet. You can tell by the tail. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and he's going to get excited. Sooner or later, one of us must go. Do you think Paul and Pete purposely burned down that place in Hamburg? No. I think I think that they were literally just fucking around. I kind of do think that they were trying to find a source of light. Um, do you think that they did it? No, they didn't do it to keep warm. It was because there was no light. Like it was the electricity was shut off. So they nailed it to the wall and needed to have light. So I think even if they were lighting it on fire for just a laugh, it was also giving a light source. That part I think is very true. Their living space sounded horrible. Yeah, I think uh I think like it's probably one of the most like more depressing things with the Beatles, not in a bad way. It's just like woof. Why didn't they use their phones for light? Oh, happy rooftop day. Yay. Happy sad moment that it was the last Beatles concert, but whatever. Not intentionally. Well, yeah, they definitely did it. Like it definitely happened, but it wasn't intentional to like I don't think it was intentional to cause any sort of extra trouble. I think maybe they were being like little shits, but you know, it is what it is. It's not really the most scandalous thing that a Beatle could have done at all. Anyway, all right, homies, I have to get off here because I have to go get prepared for my let's not for my evening where I go listen to Beatles orchestral music and go try to find half price books and hopefully other things. So anyway, love you guys, and I'm not sure when I'll do a next live here because you know people are weird and I like to live in my little bubble. So anyway, and I don't know when my next video here will come out. I have an idea. It's not going to be a normal video for Lars. It's just going to be like a thing that I want to do. It is a Beatles video, but it's just something I want to do because I thought of it and I was like, ooh, that's an idea. And it will be something to put in the middle between my next like legitimate video. So, but I don't know when that's going to be. I make no promises right now. I'm working on Stranger Things. So, all right. I love you guys and I will see you eventually. Okay. Bye.